Come on through, Cookie. I want to put my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Hey guys, thanks for clicking on the video. Let's talk cutting it in the ATL. This is season 2, episode 12. Now, this whole episode was basically a lot of it was about the Bronner Brothers show, and it was really Lucia versus Beauty J, and who was going to turn out Bronner Brothers. Well, I have to say Beauty J actually did a good job at Bronner Brothers, because Beauty, she had everything together for a change. She had all her shit in line. She had everything together. Both of their songs, because they both had the same thing. They both had a launch of products, and they both had their songs that they were actually using. Both of their songs sound good as they were, completed and everything. But Beauty J did a heck of a fashion showing, and did her clip-ins and had the girl flip her hair and carry on with her clip-ins in, and everything went really, really good for her. It really, really did. To the point that Moosh Moosh brought her ass over there and sat in during Beauty J's showing, and then decided to pull out at the last minute. So that was a lose. Like, whoever heard of such? There's no way. I'm going to always do James, no matter what. I'm gonna do me. And that's why I'm not one of those people who, I don't compete with other whores. I'm always competing with myself. I'm always in competition with myself. So I don't run into those issues where I'm a backup after seeing what somebody did. I just thought that was petty, and I lost really all respect for her at that point. But she decided she's going to launch her stuff at another time, which was a real dry punk move. Okay, so Maya and Deirdre had actually met up prior to all of this. And Deirdre, she's like really running behind schedule. She didn't have anything together. She had no furniture for her school. Maya ended up giving her like 2 salons full of furniture. Sinks and dryers and all of this stuff, stations and all this, which was really, really nice, but it was all done with an ulterior motive. She did all of that to get back at Pat. She wanted to break that allegiance between Pat and Deirdre, and it worked like a charm. It worked like a charm. That day, Pat came to the place. It was Pat and Trey. They came and seen everything. She was in the midst of unloading the truck and stuff, and then basically told her off, told her, you're crazy. If you think that this is not going to cost you later on down the road, you're crazy. She's just doing this to get in, and it's going to cost you later. Like, all right, well, whatever. And she was right. She was right. Because it did. And it wasn't really as bad as what it could have been. You got that Steven. Steven is a snake. So he runs back and forth a lot with things, but he does little nasty things to everybody if you clock it. Over at the Bronner Brothers thing, Maya had an event. She rented out, she had a booth, and she also rented out a piece of the hall to do her event. He was supposed to do PR. There was like 5 people in the audience. He gonna take and slide on out the door. I said, this fat bitch slid on out the door. I know she's going to blame me. Well, who else should she blame? If she put the PR on you and you supposed to be the it boy that can bring the people in and ain't no people in here, who is she supposed to put it on? He's a snake. He really is. And I'm with Maya. I'm going to report back to Maya. He's with Steven, period. And then Trey keep running around with him. I don't know why Trey don't think that's a bad look, because that's a bad look for you. You always running and sticking behind him, and you look just as messy as him. And Pat. When he went up there, him and Pat clowned so bad in Deirdre's thing. Pat gonna sit down in this one little shampoo chair, baby, and the bottom fell out, and she sunk on down, and Trey's like, oh, child, this furniture's cheap, honey. I was like, oh, they're terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. But they laughed at Deirdre, told her it's a setup, girl. And Pat told her, she said, girl, my pride is too high for that. For me to ever have accepted this stuff from her, you know she hates you. My pride is too high for that. And Deidre told her, mine is not, and y'all not going to talk about Maya in my presence. So they eased on out of there, end up going to, at the same time, they had that little situation. Deidre had her opening. It was the same day as Warner Brothers. And they all showed up. Um, Trey, Steven, and Pat showed up. And Pat showed her motherfucking ass at the thing. Told her, girl, like I said, it was going to cost you. She'd have talked about you all over the place, letting people know that you're like a charity case. This, that, and the other. And Deirdre was like, I don't even want to hear her. She looked real cute too. She looked real nice and everything. Pat started pulling flowers out of the fucking floral arrangement that Maya had set for Deirdre and was throwing them on the ground. I said, oh, that damn Pat is too much, child. Throw them on the ground, and Deirdre put her out. It was a mess. And Deirdre later said, you are no better than Maya to me. So Pat then flipped down. Pat's going to get Deirdre, honey. So I said, oh, I can't wait to see what's going to happen with this. But she going to get her. After that, she goes, there was a whole situation with permits. She goes down and they kind of shut things down and told her that the contractor had no building permits, that all the stuff got to be redone, like tore down and redone, for her to be able to open up the school. So she's like really in a pickle with that. The child all using somebody's cousin and all that. That shit don't always work out for the best. Last thing was Steven put together this whole thing. He's friends with the people that run Control Magazine. They have a little competition about boss women, and it has all the women involved, and they're all supposed to basically compete for who's a boss, and whoever they decide is the boss is actually going to get a front cover in the magazine. So that's coming up on the next episode. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out. I told you that goddamn Steven was a snake. He got a whole thing together of how he going to try to work Pat out of the whole fold of the whole competition. So we shall see what's going to go on. That's it. That's all I got for cutting into the ATL. I'll talk to you guys soon.